Hi there, everybody. My name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this video tutorial, I'm going to teach you my top 5 tough interview questions, and in particular, I'm going to give you suggested answers that you can use to pass your interview. So whatever interview you have coming up, please do stick around and watch the content from beginning to end, because I promise you it is going to help you to pass your interview. A very warm welcome to this tutorial. That is me there on the right hand side. I've been helping people for over 20 years now to pass their interviews, and in particular in this video we are going to focus on how to answer tough interview questions. And like I say, I'm going to give you suggested answers that you can use during your interview preparation. As always, please make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red button below the video, and that way you will not miss out on any of the weekly tutorials I am uploading to YouTube. If you do like the content I'm creating for you, I would very much appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. If you give it a like, that always motivates me to do more for you guys. Okay, straight into it. Question number 1 of our top 5 tough interview questions and answers. Tell me about a time when you didn't get on with a work colleague. So, 2 important tips before I give you the suggested answer. What not to say. Don't say it was their fault and they were the ones who had the problem, not you, even if that is the case. But instead, what you should say, do say you looked at this as an opportunity to build bridges and resolve the situation with a positive outcome to the benefit of the company. So they are looking for people who resolve this kind of situation. They take responsibility for it. So here is my suggested answer for the tough interview question. Tell me about a time when you didn't get on with a work colleague. In a previous job, I can remember a member of staff within the office taking a dislike to me for some reason. He appeared to not involve me during conversations, and when I tried to contribute, he dismissed my views and opinions. Whilst it wasn't a pleasant situation to be in, I knew I had to be the one who resolved it. I started out by trying to speak to him on a one-to-one basis, and I would sit with him during coffee and lunch breaks. I would always talk to him positively and ask how he was and what he'd been up to at the weekends. He was continually cold towards me, and so I decided to ask him outright whether there was an issue. As soon as I confronted him on the issue, his attitude changed. Although he didn't say it directly, I felt he knew he hadn't been particularly nice towards me. However, since that day, we have got on really well, and our relationship has progressed to the point that we've met up for a coffee on a couple of occasions outside of work. Now, this has been beneficial to the team because we can now work together more productively on important projects. Whenever a negative situation occurs, I will always try my hardest to turn it into a positive one. So that's a really good response, and it shows you, as the smart, intelligent person, you are being the mature one, and there is a positive outcome to that situation. You've taken responsibility for it, which is good. Question number 2 of our top 5 tough interview questions. Describe a time when you failed in a work situation. A really difficult question to answer, because there is obviously a temptation to say that you never fail, but the fact is we all do. So what not to say? Don't say you are pretty near perfect and that you've never failed in a work situation. We have all failed at times. Now what you should say is explain how you failed, the impact it had on the team, and then what you did to put it right. That's the important part. So here is my suggested answer to the interview question. Describe a time when you failed in a work situation. When I initially started out in my previous job, I was given an important task by my manager that had a tight deadline. Now, because I was keen to impress, I started working hard quickly to get the job done and to the right standard. However, due to my hastiness, I had failed to read one part of the brief correctly, which meant the project wasn't completed to the right specification. As soon as I had realised I'd made the mistake, I informed my manager, I apologised, and I looked to put it right. I learned a lot from that experience, and ever since then, I ensure I adopt a thorough analytical approach to all tasks I undertake. I don't make mistakes often, but if I do, I will always react positively, take responsibility, and learn from the experience. So again, this is showing you as a mature employee, and you are taking responsibility when things don't go according to plan. And that is the perfect answer. Next interview question. Who's the worst boss you have ever had? Really difficult one. I've heard this asked in many interviews, and people don't answer it correctly. Now, before I give you the suggested answer, here are 2 important tips for getting this answer correct. What not to say. Don't say you've had lots of bad bosses. Now, this will make the interview panel think it's you who has the problem. But instead, what do you say? Well, if you have ever had a negative boss, say you kept your opinions of them to yourself, as it's important you respect their decisions and instructions. So here's my suggested answer for the interview question, who's the worst boss you've ever had? To be truthful, most of my bosses and managers have been brilliant. There has only ever been one boss who I didn't agree with the way that he did things, but I was still very much respectful towards him, and I kept my views and opinions to myself. Now, the only reason why I felt he wasn't particularly great as a boss was that he continually changed his mind about how we should tackle certain projects, and he didn't appear to be confident in his choices. Having said that, I understood that he must have been under pressure from senior managers, so I always did all I could to help him out and do my own job to the best of my abilities. So, of course, we've all had a difficult or a boss that we don't want to work for, but that shows a high level of maturity that you understand why the boss might have been under pressure. So you need to be very careful how you answer that particular question, but hopefully that suggested response will help you during your preparation. Next interview question of our top 5 tough interview questions and answers. How do you think your co-workers would describe you, both good and bad? Again, a really difficult question, but here are 2 tips on getting this answer correct. What not to say. So don't say anything bad that is a match for the job description. So let's say you are being interviewed for a role that requires you to work collectively with other team members to achieve difficult tasks. Don't say that your co-workers would probably say you like to work alone and you're not particularly good in a team environment. Now, what to say instead? Do say a number of good things your co-workers would say that are a match for the job description. So if the role that you're being interviewed for is customer focused, say, well, they would say that I'm really good with customers and I go above and beyond to help them. Things like that. Also, say one bad thing and then 3 good things about yourself. Here's how to answer this interview question. That's a difficult question, but I guess if I am really honest, they would most probably say the one bad thing about me is that I am sometimes not very good at delegating team tasks when we are all working together on an important project. It's only because I care so much about the finished project that I try to do a lot of the work myself. Having said that, I am learning to let go and trust my work colleagues as they are just as important as I am within the team. In respect of the good things, I believe they would say, I am reliable and I can be trusted to complete a task professionally. I am a loyal and hard-working person and an invaluable asset to the team. And finally, I am someone whom they could rely on in their hour of need or if they ever needed support in a difficult situation. So that's a great response because you are giving 1 negative and then 3 positives. So you are loading it with positive words. Next, interview question of the tough interview questions tutorial. What's the first thing you would do in this job if you are successful? 2 tips for answering this correctly. What not to say. Don't say you would sit back and take your time to become accustomed to the role, but instead what you should say, do say you already have a plan in place of what you intend to do, and then break it down into 3 things. The fact that you will learn the role quickly, you will fit into the team, and then you will make an immediate impact. So here is my suggested answer to the tough interview question. What's the first thing you would do in this job if you are successful? I would want to hit the ground running, and in order to achieve that, I would do 3 things. Firstly, I would learn the job as quickly as possible, and in order to achieve that, I would take comprehensive notes and spend time reading up on the role during the evenings once I got home from work. Secondly, I would introduce myself to the team and get to know everyone as soon as possible. I feel it's important that I fit in with the team quickly. Finally, I would want to undertake an important project or task to show you what I'm capable of doing. Because you would be putting your trust in me, I would be keen to repay that trust by showing you what I'm capable of doing within the role quickly. So that's a great answer again. Now, if you'd like a copy of all of these answers that you can use and also to get access to more sample interview questions and answers, if you click the link below the video right now, it will take you through to my website, passmyinterview.com. You can get free 30 days access to my online interview training course. there are over 50 interview questions and answers. So I actually give you the answers to all of the questions. I give you a mock interview and I give you tips on interview technique and the top 10 things that you should say during your interview to make sure you pass. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have any questions at all about your interview, or if you'd like me to create some questions for you, tell me what interview you've got in the comments section below this video, and I'll come on here each day and I'll give you suggested answers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you've enjoyed the content. I very much appreciate that. And good luck in your pursuit to passing your interview.